I have this. So what to go? How we will proceed in our country? The only way, we have some trainings that are going on the downstairs, hands-on training, and the seminar symposium, study clubs, which is our hope. This study club is our hope. And the literature. I am editor of this journal. It's free distributed in the internet. You can take it free. You can learn. You can have all the smile designing information in this journal. There are one journal, MICD, another is Science Beauty. So, before crying, please change ourselves. Before crying, please change ourselves. Sometimes, no friend will come with you. That means standing alone doesn't mean I am alone. It means I am strong enough to handle the things by myself. This lovely person every year come to our country. I always present in his speech, you cannot change your future, but you can change your habit. And surely your habit will change your future. And what he wants to say, always dream within a dream. You see what he see? Dream is not what you see in sleep. It's the thing which doesn't let you sleep. Thank you for kind attention.
Thank you, Dr. Mushtaq Hasan Sattar, for your interesting presentation. Our question and answer session will be held after.
Today, I want to discuss about the non-surgical treatment of class 3 malocclusion. My name is Dr. Gazi Shamim Hasan.
এখন মূল্যবান বক্তব্য রাখছেন সায়েন্টিফিক প্রেজেন্টেশনে প্রফেসর ডাক্তার গাজী শামীম হাসান। আমি আবার সবাইকে অনুরোধ জানাচ্ছি, প্রেজেন্টেশন চলাকালীন সময় আপনার যাওয়া আসা বন্ধ রাখবেন, কথাবার্তা বলাটা বন্ধ রাখেন, আর হাসাহাসিটা বন্ধ রাখেন। আমরা দেখেছি সিনেমা হলে যদি কেউ কথাবার্তা বলে আশপাশের লোকজন থামিয়ে দেয়, ভাই চুপ করেন, আমরা শুনতে পাচ্ছি না। তা আমাদেরও আশেপাশে যারা আছেন, যারা কথা বলে, তাদেরকে আপনাকে থামিয়ে দিন প্লিজ। সিনেমা হলে উদাহরণ দিয়ে বললাম। তবু আমরা সায়েন্টিফিক প্রেজেন্টেশন বুড়া বয়সে আমরা শুনছি, আমাদের মানে যারা জুনিয়র আছেন তারা মনোযোগ দিয়ে শুনবেন, সবারই একটা কাজে লাগবে প্লিজ।
থ্যাংক ইউ।
আর পাশে যারা শুনবেন যে হাসাহাসি করছে, কথা বলছে, আবার থামাই দিয়ে সিনেমা হলের উত্তম সুচিত্র ছবি চলছে এই মনে করে।
Thank you very much, Jahangir Bhai. Actually, what happened, Jahangir Bhai, who I told this type of statement because I was in the front line, but all are the student, our student. Maybe they are not interested in the seminar. Maybe, I don't know. But from now, Jahangir Bhai told, please try to listen our topics because today my presentation may be helpful. They don't want to agree. They don't want to agree to do this type of last surgery. I don't know why, but gradually it is increasing. Anyhow, so if you see this type of patient like profile in the class 3 and intraoral in class 3, how we can manage this case? So before discussion of the management, I want to discuss about the when should we start the treatment of class 3 malocclusion and how? Because you know, in my country, in Bangladesh, many doctors told to the patient, the orthodontic treatment will be start around 12 years old. But please remember, class 3 case never wait for the 12 years old. In the last month, I got 5 patients. All the patient told, somebody told they will start their treatment around 12 or 13. But please, I want to say everybody, please, especially class 3 treatment, you start as early as possible. I'll discuss from now anyhow. How we can, but when we can start our class 3 treatment. Especially it is better to start in the mixed dentition. That means, which part of mixed dentition? Early mixed dentition or middle mixed dentition, or late mixed dentition. You have to know. So, mixed dentition stage, we can correct this class 3 malocclusion, especially by 2 by 4 mechanism. What do you mean by 2 by 4 mechanism? 2 means 2 molar, and 4 means anterior onto 4 incisor. This is called 2 by 4 mechanism. So how we can correct this 2 by 4 mechanism? By class 3 malocclusion. So if we can use this type of picture, so there is a monogram. So if you use this type of band which stop loop in the molar, because they then collapse the archware, and use the class 3 elastic at the age of 8, 9, around this, then you can treat this case without any surgical intervention. We can show on movie like this picture. Maybe we can correct this type of malocclusion like this type of movie. We can change the lateral profile. So, and also we can change this type of, this type of profile. Look, there is some facial profile, especially lower lip is protruded. So how we can diagnose this patient is suffering from class 3 malocclusion or not? So at a glance, when he comes to your clinic, if you say your lower lip, you can easily identify this patient is actually suffering from a class 3 malocclusion. So in that case, if you use the 2 by 4 mechanics, so we can change the profile very easily. And also the anterior segment. I want to show the another type of movie. So we can change the anterior segment also. So what happens? So 2 by 4 mechanism, we can correct the profile as usual molar relationship and anterior crossbite. So please try to start the class 3 malocclusion at the age of 8 to 9 years. But please remember, you have to know that the incisor and molar relationship root formation is already completed. Otherwise, it makes another problem. So maybe it may be 7, 8, 9 when the 4 incisor root formation will be completed. Look this picture. This patient, when he comes to your clinic, maybe only the problem is that his problem is only what? Just look your lower lip. And the right side of the lower lip is little bit protruded. When you see inside the mouth, what you will see? Only one problem is that the canine is crossbite. In mixed dentition, it is expressing this is not a problem of orthodontic, that there is a canine is locked. So if you just remove this cause, dental cause, this class 3 will be automatically corrected. So if you think, no, this deciduous canine is not, I'll wait for this canine after time 9, 10 or 11, we will establish to, that will be a massive problem of deviation of the mandible. So, and in this case, you look, his lip is class 3 with concave profile. And this is after the treatment of his profile. But problem is that this is the management of class 3 problem, but not the surgical management. I want to say, without surgery, class 3 malocclusion cannot be corrected 100% properly. So in this case, so look inside her intraoral picture, the class 3 is total class 3, but anyhow, this makes a S2S proportion only. But I told the patient, if you correct the chin and the incisor relationship more better, you have to go the surgical treatment. And even though his smile is more or less acceptable range, then see this patient. If you look this patient, lip. So absolutely this is a class 3 tendency lip. So how we will correct this case? How we will see in interaurally all the side molar, premolar, canine, lateral incisor, central incisor, and this lateral incisor all are cross. Only one tooth, that is the central, this lateral incisor is outside the tooth. So in that type of patient, please, I want to say to everybody, in our student or any other doctors, before extraction of the upper jaw, in case of class 3 malocclusion, please think many times, I will extract this tooth or not. Because the lip, because this type of patient, you can correct without extraction all the crossbite and other things. Look, this is a non-extraction in the upper jaw. Because why? Because in the lower jaw, problem is that you cannot correct the midline properly. Due to some special problem I told you, if you want to correct the lower jaw, midline shift and the crossbite, you have to go surgical procedure. But anyhow, I hope if we can do at least this type of alignment or occlusion, maybe the patient will be happy. Another thing, look, this same patient before treatment and after treatment of the smile. I hope that is enough a person to live without hesitation in the ward. Okay, I will say another patient is the adult patient with full class look, full class 3 malocclusion, and this is the before treatment and after treatment anyhow in the first time, but if intraoral you see, so all the, from the 6 to 6, all are crossbite. Only the 7 is in the white. So, in that case also you remember, without the extraction on the upper jaw, because her nose was little bit down, so I tried to protrude the ANS intranasal spine forward with the mechanism of class 3 elastic, and we finished this case. But in here also, if you look, the molar relationship is fully class 3, because only the lower jaw 4 is extracted, not in the upper jaw. Two type of finishing we can do, with the molar relationship class 1 or without the molar relationship class 1. But if we want to do the molar relationship in class 1, like this one of the movie, please see. Look, there is a molar relationship was class 3, now it become a corrected to the molar relationship class 1. But how? In this type of case, if the molar relationship is class 3 and if you want to correct this molar relationship in the class 1, you have to just extract the upper 5 with the class 3 elastic. So, if you want, you can correct these things. If the patient give you the proper time, enough time, in that type of case, we can correct it. Anyhow, so the same type of patient, before treatment, the nose shape and the interior smile, and after the finishing of the case. So all the 5 to 5 are closed and collapsed. And the profile is changed like this. So I think if you are in the early age, if you diagnosis and you can start the treatment, you can change this type of profile without surgery. So today I discussed without surgery, how we can manage the class 3 case. Look, the same patient, the intraoral problem. There is another patient, is early age, with the after non-mixed dentition, late mixed dentition, but look this smile. And if you compare with the starting of the patient and finishing of the patient, it's really tremendous change. Sometimes you remember, if you find a patient with class 3 or crossbite, some of the tooth is traumatized. And if the tooth is traumatized, then what happens? The periodontal condition become a loss. So in this type of patient, how we can manage this case? With the crossbite, with the class 3 malocclusion, with the... So In the orthodontically, I think if prosthodontics and oral surgery say, maybe they will do a breeze or other things. But we can make this type of correction with only the extraction and only the orthodontic alignment of the tooth without any other tooth disturb. Now, we want to say another thing. Sometimes you find out the patient with central on missing. Anyhow, either football, cricket, or anything. If any person come to a clinic with this type of problem, what you will do? You will do the bridge, you will do the implant, or you can correct it orthodontically. But remember, this is a growing patient, not adult. Because there is a high canine is present there. So this type of patient, always I think, if the growth is present, then we can move the posterior tooth entirely with the maintaining of the arch form. Without maintaining the arch form, it next become a class 3 malocclusion. Anyhow, we finish this case like up to this position, without any denture, any implant, any other things. So this is another thing, another patient, the upper jaw and the nose is little bit down. So we can correct it without any structure in the upper and lower jaw, only just procline the anterior segment with the helical and the coil spring in the 6 and 3 only, nothing else. Look. So orthodontically, we can manage this type of little bit skeletal or dental problem, even though class 3 malocclusion, without the other intervention. But remember one thing. This is a patient with profile is not too much problem, look like normal. But why I am saying like this patient, this is not a orthodontic patient. Never touch this type of patient orthodontically. Because why? I'll explain later. Look, that chin is long. And problem is that if you say in the lateral intraoral view, her lower incisor, even the canine is inclined lingually. In that type of patient, even though her profile is very nice, but you have to refer this patient to oral surgeon for the orthodontic surgery, not do this type of patient orthodontically. And what oral surgeon will do? This is in one of my case that we done in this case in the Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujib Medical University. This is a maxilla we just cut and forward the maxilla and cut the mandible, set back the mandible, and then we fix up the maxilla by screwing and finish this case. So in this type of patient, you have to do the orthodontic surgery with the help of oral surgeon, not this is our job. So we have to refer this patient to the oral surgeon and they will do this job. So that is why it is called orthodontic surgery. And then we can get the good occlusion. Because in adult case, if the open bite is present, if this type of occlusion is present, so it is absolutely without orthodontic surgery, it is not possible to correct this case only orthodontically. So this case, we can finish this type of occlusion by orthodontic surgery only. And I want to say, please think about which patient you have to do with orthodontically or which patient you have to refer to the oral surgeon for orthodontic surgery. Please demarcate or no, please try to find out the demarcation line, which one is your job or which one is the oral surgeon job. This is very much important for our country. And I think thank you very much. This is my sweet daughter with the braces. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Dr. Professor Ghazi Shamim Hassan, for his important and very interesting case reports, especially class 3 cases. most of the cases were surgical, and few were not surgical, simple case orthopedic treatment.
Singh. His topic 6, direct restoration, aesthetic and functional. Dr. Sachindeep Singh, please.
Waiting eagerly for this session to end. I'll try not to take much time. Though Dr. Sattar has helped me to cover most of the stuff that I wanted to, so I'll probably go in and show you cases covering all the principles that he talked about. I basically, a prosthodontist, have been working for years with ceramics, and also I'm an artist, which prompted me to try my hand with composites. And today I'm here to share what all I have tried to achieve with direct restorations here. So let's see how it goes. Thank you. Why direct restorations? I've always found that they can give excellent aesthetics. They save time and visits for the patient because we don't have to send it to the lab. I find that I am in control when I'm doing direct restorations. I don't have to depend on the technician or the lab technician to give me something beautiful. They are repairable, they are repeatable, so they are quite economical for the patient. And I've realized in past 11, 12 years that they are quite successful as well. What makes us successful in direct restorations, as earlier speakers have shown, that it's the knowledge of various aspects. I have believed, whenever I want to do something, or whenever anybody has to do something, whether it's orthodontics, oral surgery, perio, if you don't know your basic stuff, you will never be successful. So if I have to be a surgeon, I need to know my area of surgery, I need to know my blood supply, nerve supply, muscles, attachments. I need to know how will I give incisions. I need to know I should be adept at what materials I'm going to use, my sutures, my medicines. Same goes for dental surgeries. That is the surgery that we do on teeth when we do restorations. We are, after all, cutting the teeth. So if I'm going to cut the tooth, I need to know my tooth. I need to know what comprises a tooth, dentin, enamel, how the rods are oriented, how the dentin is placed, what materials I'm going to use to replicate the tooth, what bonding I will use to have a long-term success, and what are the various tools which will help me to create the successful restoration. Why do we need to know the tooth? The reason is that true art, true beauty, true aesthetics is mimicking of nature. If you can mimic nature, nothing could be more beautiful. So without actually going into a lot of theoretical concepts of crown width ratios and all that stuff, I just, from my heart, I just try to mimic nature. So let's see how dentin is placed on the tooth. If you look at any interior tooth, you will notice that the dentin is thickest at the CEJ, and as we come down toward the incisal edges, it thins down. And if I have to create a restoration of interior and I'm using dentin composite, I cannot just take dentin and apply onto the tooth in one plain layer. It will never come out nice. So I have to give a thick layer at the CJ and I have to thin it down to create the mamelon effect. But opposite happens when I start with the enamel. In the enamel, the CJ, at CJ it is almost non-existent. So I cannot use my enamel composite and the thicker portion at the CJ, but I can use it in copious amount in the interdental areas as well as at the incisal edges. If I just follow this basic principle, most of the restorations do come out quite acceptable. And as I'm going to show cases, I'm not going to just show you all successful cases. I'm going to show you some mediocre, average, not so average, and successful cases. Analysis SMILE, as I said, Dr. Sattar has given you 25 concepts. I cannot go into all of that detail, but when you look at SMILE, it is basically what I call as macro aesthetics. Now, what is macro aesthetics? When I look at the face, the smile, the hair, the eyes, the lips, how patient, the dynamic stuff. But what leads to good macro aesthetics is good micro aesthetics is when I actually work on an individual tooth. So I try to keep myself to micro aesthetics. In short, the salient features of SMILE are midline, smile line, zenith points, embrasures, tooth angulations, and aesthetic ratio. exposure of the tooth as the age, according to the age of the patient, is very, very necessary. And if you had attended Dr. Tipton's lecture, he was showing some fantastic stuff by changing the tooth visibility and vertical dimension and giving patient a much younger look. So as patient grows older, maxillary incisors are lesser in visibility and lower ones are more. And we just have to keep in mind when we are doing all that aesthetic work. Midline has to coincide with the facial line, but there is a advantage here that only the maxillary midline is critical. Mandibular midline, most of the time, it really doesn't matter because what we perceive fast is the maxillary midline. These are important points, the zenith points. Now, what are the zenith points? Zenith points, according to me, are actually these points where I see the angle of the tooth changing because it helps me to recreate them. So what I do initially is I either take a photograph or take my models and mark my zenith points. Once I've marked my zenith points, from there I see where is the angulation, which is very easy. If you do photography, you will be seeing that these are light reflections over those angles. So I mark down my angles, the turn of curvature on my labial surfaces, and use them as a guideline to create more aesthetic restorations. Look at another case. I mark my zenith points, create my angulation, and it gives me, even this small class 4 restoration gives me a complete control to recreate it. Tooth inclination, we need to keep in mind that all teeth have a certain inclination to it. Maxillary, the incisors, central incisor and canine are almost at the same level. The lateral is slightly lower. That goes into what we call as pink aesthetics. There was a time when I was doing veneers, just doing veneers. Later on, I realized that today I do a lot of veneers as well as gingivectomies. Whether I'm using blade or laser doesn't really matter much, but as long as I know where my pink aesthetics is. Teeth angulations, one of the very subtle points, but one of the most important where the macro aesthetics comes important is that you cannot make teeth all